yeah, he was found eligible, and it was really good to hear everybody's perspectives on it and how they felt it was affecting him. Hello everyone, I just got back. Had lunch with Sebastian. Technically it was like second part of my breakfast, but yeah, some of the kids were like, what, you have a kid here? And another was like, you work here. I usually don't bother to correct them if they say you work here, unless I have a minute or two to say, well, I just volunteer. But let me sit you down. I use this part of this lamp and my pop socket to hook you on. It works. Hello. We have done the IEP eligibility meeting, and now Sebastian is officially under the primary IEP of other health impairments, which is where ADHD falls. So it was very, very clear that some sort of ADHD inattentive situation is going on, and it is severely impacting his learning and his potential. All of his cognitive and educational diagnostics came back showing that he is average to high average and potentially even higher, but limited by his impairment, his lack of focus. So everything is very, very formal with IEPs. There's always a special education somebody or other, I don't know her title. There's always somebody there that like runs the meeting, but I guess she had a sick kid, so she was over computer. So she was on the laptop. That's why maybe I don't necessarily have her title when I might have. But yeah, everybody went over all the reports. I did have all this stuff that I had written up, and this morning I heard back from the special education dean that would be most important when we're setting it in stone, like creating the plan. But yeah, he was found eligible, and it was really good to hear everybody's perspectives on it and how they felt it was affecting him, and how they felt like the educational diagnostician feels that perhaps his very good results with her testing his educational abilities could be even higher without the distractibility. But yeah, they got to hear about our extremely difficult homework session the other day. I guess it was Tuesday, which led him to be up here in this room laying down. I filmed it, but when I started recording, we had finally hit the point where he had done most of his releasing of frustration, and I could start joking around and starting to reel him back in. I offered him a prize. But yeah, so basically he already had a speech language impairment IEP, which granted him speech therapy. We didn't set up any sort of other accommodations because it wasn't really affecting too much. It was affecting his ability to communicate in school, And in first grade, it was affecting his ability to like sound out and write down words. We left that part out this time because after going over spelling tests and just talking with everybody, we decided it was not, his speech and language was not affecting his spelling, but it was affecting his self-confidence, which in turn was triggering him to shut down. So that has been written in as a reason why he does need to maintain the speech and language impairment. But also he still has a lot to do to be intelligible. He has a lot of sounds. He's like 60% there on some of them. There's a few that he hasn't even started on. He's got a plan. It's going to take a couple years. So we're keeping that. What we had was only that. And so my case manager is his speech and language therapist. But that is going to change because we have all unanimously decided that other health impairments is his primary IEP designation now. And that is what ADHD falls under. So we will get a new case manager sometime in the coming weeks, potentially one that I've met who works with primarily the second graders. But by May 18th, we will have a meeting. Again, that's with May 18th is less than a month left of school, but I've reminded myself again and again that the long picture, the long view, the goal is to have this in place before third grade, because third grade they start doing SOLs, standards of learning tests, like big tests that they have to pass the grades. There's no real grades in K through 2 here. It's just they have like a little letter scale of they're below where they should be, they're progressing towards it, they're meeting it, or they're exceeding it. And he gets mostly progressing. But yeah, it's frustrating that it takes that long. I wanted to start this in October, but they asked me to wait until February so they could try some things. And those things did help. They helped a little. But a good point was they do this testing called MAP testing twice a year. And Sebastian's scores were abysmal, like first percentile for reading and math. I think one of them might have been 5%, but like terrible. And I was like shocked, and I was wondering if he just like rapid chose the questions, but they didn't bring that up. It was just so bad that he was automatically approved to have the math test read aloud to him this spring. So they wanted to wait to do any assessments for ADHD till after these MAP tests and after they added some small groups in and stuff. So this time around on the math, they read the test out loud. They can't do that for reading without an IEP because obviously he's supposed to read. But in math, they're doing the math skills. So that is an accommodation they can provide to anybody if they score below a certain score. So he had that, and his math percentile went from first percentile to like, I think 67th, which was huge increase. Reading, he did not get any accommodations except that he gets to continue to take it and take it and take it. He's actually currently taking the MAP, and I think he's on day 5 of going off during their reading time to work on it. And he said he didn't finish it when I talked to him at lunch. But yeah, that one went up, I think, to 17th. So that was, we were like, that's good. That means all this small group reading that he's doing is helping. But reading and writing is severely affected by his inattention and his frustration. So we did touch at the end when it became clear we were all in agreement, and we had checked off all the different check boxes in the forms that you have to go through to officially have the disability. We touched on my notes that I had written, which will mostly be used. Sorry, it's allergy season and my throat is really itchy. The next meeting will be going over what we need included in the IEP, and there should be something drafted up by his case manager, but also I have all my concerns. The special education dean has this. But as I had spoken to the psychologist of if he is approved, what would that look like? What could we possibly do to fix this situation? And also my research. So a big thing that they wanted to emphasize to me that they could potentially provide is skills, essential skills. So let's see, what's the executive functioning skills, also emotional regulation skills. So things like organization, planning, time management, self-monitoring, self-advocacy when you're feeling distracted, knowing when you're getting triggered and what you can do. So that will be a huge thing, just giving them this foundation, but we can look into accommodations on tests beyond what he can be approved for. So we could set that math read aloud in stone, because that one for sure is just testing his math abilities. He doesn't need to be slowed down by the reading, but I believe she said that there can be some reading accommodations if you have an IEP for that. So it was a lot, but it was good. They kept me moving. My meeting was 9:30 and they had them scheduled like every hour, but they didn't get me for like 10 minutes, and then we had to wait a little bit longer because of having to do it virtually with one of the attendees. I brought my needlepoint and was just in the office working on that, and it actually made the meeting end right past 10:30. So the next person was a little late, sorry about that, but that made me only have like 10 minutes to wait till the lunch. So that was perfect, and I had lunch with them, and here we are. So I just need to process all this, and yeah, this video is mostly going to be this clip here of me talking to you, but we are approved, and in about a month or so we can put it into place just in time to end out the year. But this is good for one full calendar year, so he will be set through most of third grade, and then we will do our evaluations to see what needs to change, if it needs to continue. I'm assuming it will. But yeah, that's it. We made it through. We made it through. Friends, it is bedtime. I have the hiccups, so I'm trying not to hiccup. Anyway, we just got home from eating out. Danny wanted Mexican food. We don't have it, so he also wanted to have a margarita outside because it was really lovely. And luckily my allergies actually calmed down a little bit, so that was good. I did take a Tylenol because I'm having a lot of problems with my mouth swelling up, and it's chewed to freaking bits in there. So in order to eat, I have to take some, anti-inflammatory. Yeah, I need to take something that reduces the swelling. So I don't know if that helps with allergies at all, but I did feel a little bit better. My eyes weren't as itchy. Yeah, so we had some Mexican food. I have put on pajama pants, but have not changed anything else because I had to quickly stop and get some soap for Sebastian. But I wanted to come in and say goodnight. I've put my hair up. I did curl it in between the different school drop-offs. So we did the bus stop, and then I came in, made Jax his lunch and breakfast, and then headed up here and did my hair. I just detangled and curled it and tried to put it up nicely so I could be presentable with month-old hair. Tomorrow I will be working the lunch shift. I had it on my calendar already, but it wasn't set in stone. So after the IEP meeting, I checked into the office and let them know that I was going to be going to lunch, since my badge did say meeting. And while I was there, I said hi to the lovely ladies that work there and said I might be here tomorrow. So I actually emailed my contact, who I think was either somewhere else in the building while I was there or off or something, but she answered an email and said yeah, she hadn't found anybody, so if I could do it that would be wonderful. So I am, and that's fine. The kids were a little confused. I got there during first grade because Sebastian is second grade. They overlap a little bit, so I just went and sat down at Sebastian's table to wait. I was about 10 to 12 minutes early, and they're not supposed to get up, so nobody talked to me first. They did look at me. And then when it was time for them to leave, a couple of the classes walked past where I was sitting. They're like, do you have a kid? I'm like, yeah, this one right here. Even some of Sebastian's classmates are like, I thought you work here. Kind of. I mean, I do. I just don't get paid for it. Right? I mean, volunteering is working. It's just not paid work. Anyway, yeah, I took some time to decompress earlier and worked on this. I actually put it in a smaller frame because I felt like the snaps were loose on the bigger frame, so I'm going to use these smaller ones. I've changed some of the colors, so that bottom salmon color and the handle color are ones that I pulled out. I just wanted more colors in it. So now I added this one, this one, this one, and the two purples. And I will be changing some things. I should have looked it over beforehand, because I don't like how random the navy blue and the gold is on those thistle-y looking flowers in the center. And I don't really understand. It's like sometimes there's a gold one coming out of a blue stem and a blue one coming out of a green stem and a gold one coming out of a blue stem, and so I don't know. I had already done 2 of the random blue ones, so I don't think I want to take them out. But you know me, things might get taken out. Oh, I also did French knots there while I was waiting in the office for the IEP meeting. Anyway, you probably don't care that much about it. But yeah, I'm very happy that everybody was 100% on the same page as me, and they see what I see here at home. Slightly different because it's at school. He holds in the outbursts, but they see like anxiety and tension, and I don't see that. I see the release, the explosions. So yeah, this is a really good thing. He needs this before 3rd grade, 110%. That's when things get serious. That's when they're getting graded and having to pass tests to move on to the next grade. So this is a good thing. Yeah, I just wish we could have tried it out more throughout the year, but at least we got to do some of the stuff already, just because kids without IEPs do become eligible based on testing to have accommodations. He is actually out of the math accommodations he had at the beginning of the year because of his horrible score that he shouldn't have had, but having accommodations on the math testing brought his grade up so much that he no longer gets the small group math. yeah, I feel like I'm circling and circling and circling, but I'm just gonna say goodnight. I'm gonna go and do the lunch shift tomorrow. I was thinking maybe of stopping at the thrift store and seeing if they have a square frame that's bigger than that one, because this says it makes a 14 by 14 pillow. I'd have to take this out and measure how big the design is, but I'm assuming I need something 13 by 13. This one is quite a small inside. It says 7 1/4. But I don't know, because I don't get out of there till 1. And I'm usually really hungry because I'm there from like 9:45 to 1:05. That's my eating window. I usually don't like to eat before that. It's just if I have to leave the house and do something, and I like to have a pretty late lunch. So, okay, this is too long, Stephanie. Why do you do this? It's too long. Good night. Stay safe, be kind, and don't forget, wash your hands.